Let's talk about a big day. It's splashdown day. NASA gave their final update on the Artemis II mission, detailing some of exactly what will happen. Of course, people have a lot of questions about what will happen during the splashdown and what happens before the splashdown as well. So this evening in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of San Diego, that's where it will all happen. Let's take a listen.
I will mention that the crews had a great time in space, and they've really enjoyed doing all of the checkouts that they've done. Of course, the lunar flyby was quite a day. But now we absolutely turn towards entry. And so Rick Henfling and the entry team are on console today, getting ready, doing all of the pre-entry checks, and ensuring that the cockpit is configured for entry, which will, of course, occur tomorrow. I do have a few times for you as the capsule comes in. Of course, we'll hand back from the DSN network to the TDRS network at 6:15 local Central Time. And then the crew module and the service module is going to separate around 6:33. We would do a crew module raise burn to take the crew module slightly away from the service module as it comes down. And then we'll enter blackout at 6:53 local Central Time. About 10 minutes later, the drogue chutes will deploy at 7:03, and then the main chutes will be right behind them a minute later, 7:04, and we'll see those three main parachutes come out, leading down to splashdown at 7:07. And looking forward to a great day tomorrow.
Yeah, so he said tomorrow. That was yesterday, just giving a rundown of what will happen today during splashdown. Pretty interesting to hear. Tim Blotz, my lovely co-anchor here, is joining us now. Tim, we had a meeting this morning, and we were talking about, okay, how can we just consistently talk about NASA? And because today is such a historic and big day, and I was like, you know what? Dial up Tim Blotz. So we got to have him on the show because I know this is something that you are really interested in too.
I've been passionate about this since childhood. Yeah. Really. I'm gonna age myself here and date myself here, but you know, I've been watching this since Apollo, and I was one of those children back in the late 1960s and early 70s who watched every moonshot and was just glued to mom and dad's black and white television set because, yes, black and white, that's all we had. I still remember the day when we got our first color TV, and that's another story at another time, but yeah, we watched all of them on black and white television sets at the time. And I still remember my second grade teacher wheeling in. Her father brought a portable a black and white TV set on a little cart and wheeled it into the classroom so we could all watch the astronauts walk on the moon. And it was fascinating. You know, it was just fascinating to all of us at the time. So to make a long story short, I've been interested in this and following this for a long time. And today I think is going to be really exciting. Yes. You know, it really is. You just heard the TikTok from NASA as to how this is all going to transpire later this afternoon. And in our 6:30 newscast tonight, right? That you and I will be on, the command module is going to separate, and the entire thing is going to start happening within basically 37 minutes.
And those moments, too, are really crucial, right?
They are.
When we talk about the landing.
They are. You know, I made props. Because it's what I do.
Art class. I love it.
Yeah. I was up in our sales department. I said, where can I find a file folder? Where are the scissors? We're in the middle of a major remodeling project here at our studios right now, so no one knows where anything is at. And Simone and I are working up in the sales department. So I made myself a makeshift capsule, and what's going to happen is starting at about well, they just said the TikTok here, so about 6:55 is the capsule is going to start entering the atmosphere, right? And truly, this is the most dangerous part of the mission. And because of all of the forces that are going to take place on the capsule, it's dangerous. We know that because of the Columbia disaster more than 20 years ago when we lost the Columbia in re-entry because gases got underneath one of the tiles and the spaceship disintegrated when it got too hot. So that's what they're going to try and prevent this time. Now, when Artemis I came down here, when they did that test profile of Artemis I, what they did is they essentially skipped the capsule on the atmosphere at a much more low-angle descent. So, and what happened and they learned a lot from that at the time, because when they skipped that across, it allowed some gases to get into the protective tiles, and it burned some of them away. So what they're going to do tonight is they're going to take more of a direct descent, okay? So they're going to get through the atmosphere faster to close that window of opportunity for something bad to happen. Now, because of that, they're going to be coming down at a steeper rate of descent. It's going to be incredibly hot. So what happens is when this reaches the atmosphere, you develop friction. What happens with friction? It produces heat, right? Okay, so the heat is going to be upwards of 3,000 degrees. That's going to be impacting the space capsule as it comes down, and it's going to be traveling at 24,000 miles an hour, so 34,000 feet a second as it descends. So heat, friction, and G-forces. So the astronauts are experiencing up to 3 to 4 Gs as they come down into the atmosphere. And what happens is during that process, all of the air around it turns into plasma. And that will create the forces that will knock out any radio transmission. So there's going to be a 6-minute dead zone tonight when it re-enters the atmosphere, where there's no communication whatsoever. Gene Kranz, who was the flight director for all the NASA programs, I still consider him my favorite interview of all time. I had a chance to meet him a number of years ago and interview him. And he tells the story about how when Apollo 13 came down, and Apollo 13 was the one that Jim Lovell was on, where they had an accident in space. They had to scrub the moon landing and return to Earth immediately. And Gene describes that re-entry period where they lost communication as seeming like it was years. And all they did is they stood, and it was dead silence in mission control in Houston, and all they did was stare at their monitors and stare at the clock, counting down, waiting for the opportunity to reestablish contact again, because they didn't know, right? You have no idea what's going on up there. And I
feel like that has to be the really difficult part.
Right?
Yeah, when I was doing my research, I'm just like, oh my God, if you have this, which doesn't seem like a long time, but I imagine for them, every little second feels like forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. And we're going to feel that too as we watch. And we will be watching.
Or the people on the ground too.
And we will be watching. And then, once they reestablish contact and they get into the atmosphere, they'll be able to rejoin contact, I think at about 400,000 feet. And then the descent part begins. And at about 34,000 feet, the parachutes start to come out, and that's when we'll be able to see it starting to descend. And then it's a quick descent into the Pacific Ocean at 7:07. And yes, by the way, this is a programming note. We are going to be showing some live coverage of this in our 6:30 newscast tonight toward the end, and then off the top of our 7 o'clock newscast, we'll get an update with our new meteorologist, Erica, for the weekend.
Oh yeah,
she's starting tonight
for the first time.
She's starting tonight. And then we're going to join NASA's programming and watch it splash down into the Pacific Ocean. So it's really going to be exciting. But it's fascinating to hear some of the former astronauts who've been through this before. One of the quotes I read today was from former astronaut Doug Wheelock, who was up on the International Space Station and actually returned to Earth on a Soyuz space capsule. And he said, coming into re-entry is like going over Niagara Falls in a barrel, only the barrel is on fire.
No. Ooh. But that's a good perspective, though.
Yes. Kind of and that really, that little storytelling element just kind of puts it all in perspective for us. So it's just going to be fascinating to watch here.
It was fascinating to watch even liftoff. I think you and I were on the air that night, and as we saw that moment, the countdown happens, and we're just all watching. But I feel like maybe it's just us, but I kind of feel like this went by pretty fast. I was like, I feel like just yesterday.
Well, this is a 10-day mission, right?
I know, but I feel like it was like yesterday.
Yeah.
When we were just watching them, you know, lift off, and we have gotten so many amazing images along the way. And
haven't the images been beautiful?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just
we're looking
stunning.
at some of those right now.
Absolutely stunning.
Wow.
You know, these are the images. You know, I always refer to the Earthrise image from Apollo 8 that Bill Enders took in 1968 with Jim Lovell and Frank Borman on that mission as is probably the most important photograph in human history, because for the first time we got to see our Earth from another celestial body. And I think these pictures that Artemis II has taken of the Earth setting around the moon are going to be just as iconic. And what I love about it is I really believe they're going to inspire a whole new generation of young adults, kids, to get interested in science and technology. And I just think it's going to be a tremendous benefit and just, you know, inspiring those kids to study STEM.
Yeah, and when you talk about that, I think about not only is this mission historic in itself, but you think about the 4 astronauts on it, right? So you're talking about the first woman, right? The first African American, the first Canadian. And so to have that a part of something already so big is just, you know.
And you mentioned women too, and I want to make a note about that. I went to the Experimental Aircraft Association. I go every year to their convention in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And I went to a panel here 2 years ago. And the reason why I went to it, because it was all women engineers working on Artemis. And every one of these engineers, and they had a panel of 6 engineers, and they were all under 35 years old. Wow. And one of them worked for Boeing and was working on one of the ascent stage. Another was working on Orion. And I mean, the amount of experience going into this and women engineers working on this program has just been off the charts.
Yeah, it sets the scene for what we will see for years to come.
I'm a girl dad, so that was important to me.
I know you are. I know you are.
Yeah.
well, Tim, we'll watch it together tonight.
It's going to be fun.
Splashdown.
Yeah, we invite you to come join us too.
Thanks, Tim.
All right.
Thanks for joining us in here.
Yeah.